Is internet free speech a thing? Can that actually happen? We're going to talk about that today because if you're not aware, there was a tweet by, who's master Twitter here? Donald J. Trump posted a tweet, and I'll show it to you, and I'll show what he's doing here, where it was fact-checked by Twitter. And pretty much from that point, he had seen that. Of course, only going to take action when it happens to him personally. It happened to him personally. And trying to pass some sort of bill that's going to make these companies accountable for some of this information that they're putting on people's tweets or marking it as false information or even taking down people's information. And this would apply, I would imagine, to every single social media company out there. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube being the big ones, get off of those. But let me actually show this to you and see what it actually shows here. So here we go. Here's Mr. Twitter himself. There is no way, zero, that mail-in ballots will be anything less than substantial fraudulent. You can just read the rest of it here, but talking about mail-in ballots here. Here's the second part right here. Talking about fraud, rigged election, etc., etc. Get the facts about mail-in ballots. Let's go ahead and open it up and see. There's a whole thing here about mail-in ballots. Interesting, isn't it? So they're trying to discredit what he's saying here. And now let's just think about this for a minute. Let's just try to think logically. If he's talking about there being fraud with mail-in ballots and things being illegally done, let's just think about that for a moment. I mean, is that wrong? Is that really wrong to say that? With how easy it is to, actually make something, the ballot be incorrect. You know what I'm saying here. Is that really wrong? That you could mess up those ballots in a way that is fraudulent, or they're being held back. They get shipped somewhere. They get shipped somewhere else. They're not sent to the right people. They are not counted correctly. There's a whole bunch of issues here with that, and I understand that's how it used to be back in the day, but guess what? Now, more than ever, especially with how things are in the world and how much people absolutely hate him, in particular, it wouldn't surprise me the amount of fraud that would happen, especially just, in the past, many elections now, the amount of fraud that could happen. So we had to be very careful of that. And, as I said, I don't follow this man here. I'm just kind of seeing this here. I'm like, wonder what's going to happen with that, because that's how I found out about this, because he is signing here. Actually, let me show you what, let me see if I can find it, because, okay, here we go. Twitter is now interfering with the 2020 presidential election. They are saying my statement on mail-in ballots, which was led to massive corruption and fraud, is incorrect based on fact-checking by fake news CNN and the Amazon Washington Post. Is Washington Post owned by Amazon? If that is, that's the first time. Twitter is completely shifting free speech, and I, as a president, would not allow it to happen. See, this I am very much in favor for, too. Not have these companies censor what you're trying to say. Because as we know, these media companies, they do censor and they block out everything. Twitter, you say something wrong, they will put that fact check thing on there, they will mark it as misleading, or you'll just be shadow banned. Facebook, pretty much the same thing. You're shadow banned, you don't see an image if someone posted that is misleading, an image or a video, and you had to click on the little view this, misleading info. You got to click through to actually get it. YouTube is probably the strictest of the bunch. They don't put misleading information. No, they don't do that. What they do is if they don't like it, they take it down entirely. Now, I'm not sure if this rule will apply to YouTube in particular, because the whole thing about the order that he's proposing here, if it were to pass, again, I don't know too much about it, but it has something to do with making these companies accountable for the information that they're putting out. Because right now, where it stands, there's nothing wrong with the Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, because they're not actually a news site. They can't sit here and be held accountable for what someone else puts out. You know what I mean? So if I put out something, YouTube cannot be held liable based on what information I put onto their platform. But if YouTube says you are wrong, and they put real information and link it to other news sites, so guess what? That is automatically a bias, and they should be held accountable for that, because then they're saying, my view is wrong, here's the correct view of the situation. They're not unbiased in this matter, they are biased. And as we know, these social media sites are indeed very biased. YouTube, Facebook, they actually say wrong information. YouTube doesn't, so I don't know how YouTube's going to play into this, because they can't be held liable if they're not going to say it's fake information or false information. They're just going to take it down entirely. And I don't want to see that happen either. But let's just look. Twitter has now shown that everything we have been saying about them and their compatriots is correct. Big action to follow. And let's see. He has so much. Oh my gosh, this is from like 2 days ago. And there's just so much stuff that he posts on here and shares. What is this here? Okay, that's just blocked here. Look at all this. Look at this man. This man has too much time on his hands. Talking about bills and this and that, and just, oh my gosh, look at all this. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where all these bills are, but I did watch. Yeah, here it is. Look, executive order on preventing online censorship. That's what we like to see. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is today criticizing Twitter. We have a different policy than Twitter is on this. And look, and then he posted again, and it was not fact checked. Just trying to get his point across. Now, what is this? This tweet violated the Twitter rules about glorifying violence. However, Twitter has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible. Really? What is this about? These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd. I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz, and today, him and the military is with him. Assumed control, but the looting started, the shootings. Okay, so first of all, how does this glorifying violence? I don't see anything that's glorifying violence. He's trying to stop the violence here, because what he's saying is true here. These people who were, if you don't know, these darn foolish protesters who were destroying cars and buildings and setting fire to things. What the heck is wrong with these people? If they're trying to protest a peaceful protest, you don't go, one person died, then you kill a bunch of other people and a lot of other businesses. That's not a way to get what you want here. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Of course it works, but look at how people are going to view these people now, these protesters. But anyway, that's not what I was trying to get into for this video. But, I don't know if that's considered censorship here, but look, Twitter is doing nothing about all the lies and propaganda being put out by China or the radical left Democratic Party. They have targeted Republicans, conservatives, and President of the United States. Section 230 should be revoked by Congress. Until then, it will be regulated. So, also what he's saying here is very true. Because if you look, it's usually the people who are conservatives or Republicans are the ones who are blocked. Regulate Twitter if they are going to start regulating free speech. Exactly. What? China. What? See, this man has too much. Just post all caps, China. What the heck is wrong, man? What the heck is wrong? Anyway, all I'm saying is these companies do try to determine what is and what isn't factual information. The fact that they can delete things goes to show that they think that you the person who's viewing these social media sites or YouTube videos, they think that you're stupid. They think that you're going to watch a video or read a tweet or read a Facebook article or something about some sort of major event that's going on, some sort of political event, some sort of medical thing, or anything else, and they're going to say, guess what? These people are stupid. We're going to put false information over this. Guess what? People are not stupid. People can use their mind and determine for themselves what is and what isn't factual. If I see something posted on the internet, especially on social media sites by someone, am I going to believe that? No, I'm not. I'm going to be skeptical of anything, even if it aligns with my perspective of what I believe. I'm going to look it up myself and try to find the information myself, or else I don't really fully believe it. Okay? I don't. Now, mind you, I have my own biases, which I share, and I'm grateful that I have that freedom to be able to share that. But at any moment, just think, what if YouTube's like, we don't like you anymore because you're saying stuff such as, if you eat healthy, then you won't have illness. It's like, YouTube, you realize that that is true, right? We don't care. We don't like that. Deleted. So anything that doesn't align with their perspective, they determine that they're just going to delete or put false information on. Again, now why is that so wrong? Because they are determining what is and what isn't factual. And whatever is going to go on here with this darn bill, okay? I don't know precisely all the details that it involves, but if these companies are going to if these companies are going to block and censor things, then they should be held accountable for that and provide significant evidence that shows that what they're saying and what they're doing is indeed factual. Just because you link to a fact-checking website that is written by someone who had worked, at a news media site, doesn't mean that that's factual. Because let's just say I was part of this, some of these people who put out some of these crazy theories on the other side, okay? And that is what YouTube and Facebook and Twitter all like. They like those crazy stories on the other side. Let's just say that I wrote some, nasty, really bad article and misleading and everything, and then I post that online. It wouldn't be censored at all because YouTube and Facebook and all them like that sort of stuff. But if someone posts a counter argument to it, that'll be shut down. That'll be taken off right away. I've seen videos on YouTube. I'm not sure if anyone's seen it. The pandemic video that was going around. It doesn't matter if the information in that video is true or not, because everyone has the right to watch that and determine for themselves if they want to believe that. People are not stupid. These social media companies make people stupid because they make them believe in one reality only, which is their own propaganda reality. So yeah, it's just really, really interesting, and I guess we will see what comes of this. And ideally, what I think this man should do? What I think he needs to do, I think he needs to get off Twitter and just go to a different site. That's what I think he needs to do. Okay? If he wants to get the information out there, if he wants to post things, go to a different site and do it. You know how many people are going to be leaving Twitter if he leaves Twitter? How many people are going to be joining the new site that he goes to and help support a platform that is more based on freedom of speech? I wish he will do that. I really do. I wish he would stop using Twitter and just move on to a different social media company that is like Twitter. There are a few. Let's get that popular, because that is more freedom of speech. Guess what? Twitter will have a hard time with that because a lot of people are going to be leaving Twitter. Okay? Do the same thing with Facebook. Do the same thing with YouTube. If more and more people, especially some of the big names, he has tons of followers. Did you see? He has 80 million followers. Okay? So imagine if 80 million people, left and went over to this other platform. Just think about that. Just think about that. So what I'm going to say is that I wish that would happen. People need to start using these other alternative sources. I do. As you know, I have other alternative accounts for most of my stuff. Like I have a Minds account for Artemasodal. I have a BitChute account for Artemasodal stuff. And I have a LBRY account for Artemasodal and this channel, Elstone. So all of my videos are moved over there. All my social media posts are moved over to Minds, So I do that so I can have people who don't want to use those main social media sites can have an alternative platform that is, guess what? It's more willing to accept your content and they won't censor it. Okay? So I do that. So even though you may be watching this on YouTube right now, guess what? Get over to LBRY and watch it. LBRY.com. You can search up Elfstone on there. Or if you view my video on this channel about it, there's an invite link, and then I can get some and you can get some, I think, LBC cryptocurrency with it. So we got to remember, all these main platforms, they will do whatever they want. They don't care. So I say good on him to actually try to figure this out here, because guess what? This has happened before. These social media companies try to censor people who have alternative viewpoints. I don't believe in any sort of censorship at all. Now, if you're going to post, we had to distinguish freedom of speech versus hate speech. Freedom of speech, you can say whatever you want, even if it is hate speech. Hate speech, I would say, is people who are saying, certain people, certain races, certain sexes should be killed for whatever reason, and promoting all this nasty, hateful crap. Like, is it hate speech if someone says that I am a man, that I will never be a female, even though, because I am a transgender woman? Is that hate speech? I don't consider that hate speech. I consider that, guess what? That is the other person's opinion. I consider it hate speech if the person's going to say, you should kill yourself, someone should kill you, you're better off dead. That is hate speech. Okay? Someone saying that transgender people are mentally ill, that is not hate speech. That's just your own personal viewpoint and opinion. Guess what? No one has to believe that. The majority of people do not believe that. Some people do believe that. But guess what? Even if I don't agree with that, I defend your right to be able to say that. I do not defend your right to promote hateful, nasty content like death threats. That, I think, should be removed. And that's the only thing I think should be removed. All this other stuff, allow people to make up their own mind. If someone wants to make a video about how transgender people are mentally ill, let them make that video and for people to determine for themselves what they believe. I don't believe it. Many people don't believe it. But if people want to watch that and understand that perspective, even if they don't believe it, like let's say I want to watch someone who made that video to understand why they think that way, I should be allowed to do that. But you can't, because you can't find that stuff because it's considered hate speech. So, anyway, that's all I had to say. Yeah. So, I'll just leave you with this. China.